We know certain maps that Empire are quite good on.
Yeah, Clubhouse and Bank, of course, will be removed, so it's not like Empire are going to be able to play Clubhouse. Yeah. And I think even in the next Playday, they can't because it was just played, I believe. Yeah, Empire next week are going to play against Chaos, and Chaos's game today was against G2, so at least you won't have to really worry much about having to play on Clubhouse. So that's
actually, I think Clubhouse is not the auto ban because it was only played prior to today. It was only played on day 1.
And that was Border actually. Yeah, I'm like,
so I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, I'm thinking wait, I thought Clubhouse was still available.
Yeah, and Clubhouse was played by G2 and forZe, so I think we had a bit of an issue there.
Yeah, we're just double checking to make sure that the maps are displayed correctly for you guys. Yeah. But either way, it'll be interesting to see because I'm just saying that just because if Clubhouse is a possibility, that would be interesting to see just because Empire has such a good record on it. And forZe, when they played it, they also did quite well at 7-3. So good records for both those, but could go other places as well. As you said, Border is not a possible choice. Let's see where did forZe play last. They were on Consulate last, so
yeah,
cannot be Consulate or Border, I believe, are the two choices.
So you mentioned that 7-3, that was against Na'Vi. I don't believe that we're going to be playing on Clubhouse in this game. I don't know.
Yeah, entirely possible here. We'll see when we just correct the map vetoes of
waiting to hear and to see it. Just
we know what the auto bans are now, though, based off of the prior matches.
Yeah.
Consulate and Border. But I got to imagine both. Oh, we're just finding out it will be Clubhouse. All right. Well, that should be really good then. We'll see. We'll see if forZe have studied very hard, very diligently Empire's strategies on Clubhouse and can counter them or not.
Was FaZe the only team that beat Empire on Clubhouse?
Probably, but I want to see an Empire SSG Clubhouse again. Ooh. Just because SSG is like nuts on Clubhouse.
A lot of people right now that are thinking about what would happen through the groups and through Invitational. I mean, you ask me, I don't think Empire versus SSG is a grand final. Or even a semi would be.
I haven't even tried to figure out where people could end up in terms of the group.
No, that would be
we'll see. Time. We'll literally see at the end
of
that possible.
At the end of the show, tune in for the groups. We have some technical issues right now, making sure that everything's worked on correctly, and then we'll be able to confirm the map, show you everything, and of course, see what you guys think about this game. We're playing on Clubhouse. There's going to be a lot of the things that we still saw in the previous game.
Yeah, it's going to be our third Clubhouse of the day, actually, now that I think about it. So, guess who's not playing Clubhouse next week? All of EU.
All of EU. So, we have fun.
Yeah, it's done. Clubhouse is done for the moment. But Playday number 6, it's possible again, potentially. Because it won't be played on at all on Monday. That means it won't be auto-banned for any team on Wednesday.
On Playday... Yeah, Playday 6, which is exactly a week from now.
So we could see it. We'll probably won't see it again for a week, basically. So there you go.
It just took us 30 seconds to explain that.
You know,
you could tell we're
double checking our mental notes as we say it, just to make sure we're saying it correctly.
Wait a second. Does this make any sense?
No, but
it's Clubhouse. You're expecting between these two teams, as you saw in the previous games, to always have that kind of Jaeger running around the map, doing work, right? At least delaying the attacker.
I mean, and looking at the op bans, too, makes me think, what do you guys think? Oh, okay. Well, you guys don't really see forZe having much potential. All right.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. I mean, Empire crushed it on this map and did crush it.
Wait, let me check what Verdi voted for.
Probably Empire, I think. I know I did.
So sorry, Marius.
I'm sorry, it was Empire.
Marius, I love you so much, but
I don't know. Hap's on the losing train this time for some reason.
Well, I mean, it's Hap.
I mean, he's done well with his odd picks sometimes.
Yeah, but you know when you get a bit too cocky after your right.
It's true. It's true.
So let's take a look.
Like I said before, the op bans that came out the last.
Verdi went for forZe. The only guy that went for forZe.
Well, Empire have it clinched. And
Mari.
I think he likes to just pick the off things. He likes to just be creative with it. I mean, if there's no money on the line, why not? Have fun with it. Well, it's been Capitao and Maverick every time, and certainly not looking any different so far, as well as Echo. So the only variable we've had in terms of op bans between the two times it was played earlier are Smoke and Mira. Let's say those two together is like Smoke and Mirrors. Let's see. Will we get the usual Capitao? No, a Buck. All right, some variety. That's what we like to see. As you mentioned earlier, we're seeing a lot of Buck play today. Not in this match.
Not surprised.
That's the only time you're going to see him is right now.
was her first operator. Is it Mira Echo again?
You think it's likely? I think
Yeah.
I think it's likely, but you never know. Could get interesting between these two. But
I mean,
it's like,
both teams kind of ban those two operators. All
oh, for sure, yeah.
so.
I just always hope that there's like gonna be some wild curveball thrown in.
Nah, man.
Like, we know you like this op and rely too much on it. But no.
Honestly, man, like.
So we still, again, only had one op changed out, but at least this time it was not the Capitao. Capitao now available. We saw it's a pretty good Capitao play from, I believe, Shepard on Coastline prior.
Joystick as well. In the past, even though he's not really playing those roles anymore.
He's played a lot of like Nomad and stuff like that.
And a lot of your like flex support.
Thatcher as well, which he's doing now. Yeah, flex support for sure. He's not always getting kills, but he's always doing his job, and that's the important thing. We will start down in church. So that will be a good starting place as they pray for a chance against Empire. Rask going to sneak in the Vigil, though. Always good to use that as a 6-pick.
Are they going to run Vigil, Legion, Mozzie, and Mute upstairs?
That would be interesting. See, I want to see them try and pull that off.
Attackers need to
Alrighty
locate
then.
and defuse as many bombs as they can.
So, for's the setup downstairs. Here's her impacts. Pasha's actually... I wonder why he opened up... Like, he shot one shotgun shell into the side of the armory there. There's one of those shelves.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like trying to think of what utility you'd even put there that anyone's bringing. No one's bringing any like throwable utility that sticks to the wall.
So I wonder...
Could just be for fun, or maybe he was alt-tabbed and went click back on the game.
I mean, he was walking. But
Oh,
anyway,
he's walking, okay.
that aside...
I can't tell you how many times I've accidentally TK'd someone by alt-tabbing and then coming back and clicking on the screen,
5
and
seconds
someone
left.
just happens to stand right in your crosshair. So he's,
Yeah, that's exactly what you would say.
Attackers
least I
objective is to locate a bomb
Sorry.
and defuse it.
yeah, totally accident, yep.
You're trying to do your best Corey impression.
Yeah.
Well, there's the setup from for's. As we predicted, they're bringing operators in order to slow down Empire.
The castle definitely doesn't have a lot of use downstairs outside of if you're going to be playing some roam. So that with the Legion as well, and the Mozzie Mute, and the Vigil, all really says, you're not going to get us anytime soon.
Yeah. And the whole point is to kind of Scooby-Doo this whole site,
Pull
and
the mask off, see if it's all Mr. Jenkins.
that's it for Empire right now. They have to pull that mask off, and for's are going to slowly peel back. Of course, speaking of masks, is Mr. Mask himself. It's, of course, the Vigil. It's Rask playing it this round. So
Our game's Batman.
where is she?
These castle barricades, not really stopping the drones at least, but definitely making it harder to move through the map downstairs. A lot of just feeling out from Empire right now. They want to see if they can get any freebies or start to pressure players of for's down. All the denial of the drone is not completely stopping the droning, but it's just slowing it down.
And it's still something, right? The Mute Mozzie combo, the entire point of it is to at least slow down drones or slow down the operators themselves because they don't have information to capitalize on right now, right?
Yeah.
Used a lot of reinforcements on the top floor. At least that would you assume, but Rask, what a shot! Finally, Joystick laying down on the floor is going to be able to find him. The Zofia has been ejected out of this game.
Good thing they have a sledge because those castle barricades, you know, could be a pain, but nope, not if you can just hit them.
I wonder where the rest of the reinforcements are being set, because now, actually, the more we look at the top floor, you kind of realize there's only a couple of... there we go. So there's the 90. There's 90 that's pretty much open, plus you don't have your reinforcement inside of blue. The rest all go onto hatches, plus your 3 reinforcements on the church wall.
Something's got to give if you want top floor reinforcements.
Exactly. But at least it ruined a lot of time. It ran a lot of time off of Team Empire.
And a member of the team, Dan, going down early. He's actually been struggling a little bit, I've noticed, with sometimes being the opening death.
Oh, there you go. Shotgun's been spotted, but right now Shepard will go off the camera as that player, Shaka in that case, will run away. There's the X-Kairos. Only 4 of them, so should be more than enough to open up the wall, but the hatch, excuse me, kind of jumping over my own words today. I don't know what's going on.
Like Kixon and Taro the other day, just couldn't say anything correctly.
I don't know. It happens. Someone's going to click off. It's like, oh my god, you don't know how to speak English well. There's, the impact that goes off.
Nicely done. This is just so much denial, but then Empire says, that's fine, then we'll just click your heads. We did our droning.
There you go. One more left. It's Pasha. Does he have anything to stop this? Well, he's at a good angle. Turns around the corner, finds one. Can he get a better one on the diffuser? No, it's already set, and Karjeka turns around at the right moment. We talked about this. The 90 reinforcement is great. Unfortunately, in this case, because you wanted to put manpower on the top floor, you needed to take reinforcements away from one spot. One of them was blue, the other one was 90.
And unfortunately, just too much lost for the defenders. Early on, they lost a lot of utility, or a lot of reinforcements, a lot of resources committing to that top floor take, which it just didn't slow Empire as much as they would have liked necessarily. And they didn't get a whole lot of kills outside of Dan. But as I said, we've seen Dan be the opening pick more often than I would like, but the Empire still wins the rounds. And that was really just, let's just take over Arsenal and kill everyone from there. They did lose one in the hallway, but that just gave away the position of the last player, Rask, and just couldn't do a whole lot from there. So rather than try Church again, they're going to go Cash. I mean, I like what forZe are up to, but Empire just, I seem undeterred by like, you could push us back. I mean, they know each other very well, I imagine, at this point. I would hope they hang out and have good camaraderie, too. We really don't really know, especially since I don't speak Russian. While you speak 10 million languages, I doubt you speak a ton of Russian.
No, my Russian is very limited.
So it makes it harder to know what they've been up to, but either way, hopefully there's no bad blood or anything. Hopefully they're good friends.
No.
But there's going to be a lot of blood spilled in this match, that's for sure.
So far, all going the way of Team Empire.
Locate and defuse the bomb.
It was definitely a good round for them last time, only losing 2 in that attack, I believe. Now they've got to hit Cash. So that's the angle I was talking about earlier, just to give you guys a visual demonstration. Opening that up with the Habana. Part of the reason to bring Habana and Thermite together. You really don't want to waste the Thermite breach charge on that wall to try and do that.
No.
It's a terrible idea. You do hear them hitting another garage, though. They want to get underneath the rafters to be able to play from underneath there. It gives them better access to the garage that's not as easy to shoot, so they can start to take control. It also allows them to deny the rotate in from lounge a little bit easier and make sure no one tries to come up oil pit. Not that that happens very often.
No, not at all.
I've noticed teams even don't even claymore oil pit as consistently as they used to, just because it's never really attempted anymore.
It's just scary. At least you have to have some sort of control over blue.
Yeah.
Because there's always a player lurking through there. And in this case, it's Rask, if I'm not mistaken, playing on the Jaeger. It's usually almost the Jaeger.
Yeah.
Because the other is kind of busy upstairs. The Bandit has to do his work. Takes a bit of damage. And you were talking about oil pit, but there's Rask.
Now, he's not going to climb up it, but angles from it certainly work still, because he can retreat right back to site without a lot of contention. We've seen some use of even like a Goyo shield placed a little bit further down the steps, where you get an angle to look up.
True.
That's a pretty brutal thing to fight.
Have we seen Evil Eye triggering Goyo shields?
I know that we've seen setups that would allow that, I think. But yeah, it's not been a big thing, unfortunately. I expect maybe one in the future, depending on like certain niche setups where it makes more sense to put the Evil Eye there, because you get the benefit of both.
Maybe something for
I guess
this invitation?
there were some setups where it was possible. I just don't think it was ever used, now that I think about it. But either way, Empire are taking the top floor in as swift as they can fashion here. Try and pressure towards Cash. They are starting to get angles in at least. And that's denying movement, but they've got to do a bit more than that. Karjeka actually sitting here with Pasha to his back. I don't think he knows it.
Bomb located by attack.
Is the EMP?
Pasha's just waiting for the right moment to reveal himself.
I don't know if they have a flank drone to watch him here, but it's expected. Joystick's going to be dropped in the meantime. Pasha going to go for the finisher.
Don't go for the finisher. It's not worth it. There we go. Let someone else do it. Now let's open a hole in their attack flank.
Oh no. The attacker's heard of it, but no, the sledge doesn't check. There's one kill, close to the second, but Shepard wins out the gunfight. WTG in the meantime, it's going to take out Dane. So right now things working out for forZe with only 2 left of Empire and Karjeka and Shepard. But again, these are the 2 players that are well known for clutching when necessary, but they're going to have to walk in so many lines of fire. Shockwave takes down 1 and WTG for the second. An easy round there for forZe. They basically just hold on to the site and have the flank played well. Even if the Valkyrie didn't flank, it would have been fine. The Nitro Cell was thrown perfectly.
Yeah. A lot of good pushback there from forZe, especially the flank coming out from the Valkyrie, but I believe it was Pasha. Only managed to catch 1. Probably did a bit of damage to Thermite, though, that softened him up a bit. But overall, pretty good defense. Not really giving up too many to Empire, and just holding their own inside, letting the flankers do their thing. Just seemed like Empire spent 2 minutes and didn't have enough map control. You don't get to teleport up the gym. That's a hole in your attack that you're leaving open if someone's able to make that rotation, because the only way for them to get there is via the bedroom, like in the connector, or
Attackers
coming
need
up
to
main
locate
stairs.
and
So
defuse as many bombs as they can.
definitely no oversight. We're going to see another alibi here for top floor. This is definitely one of the bomb sites where we've seen a fair bit of alibi in the past. They are going to have the Goyo as well for those shields, and the castle, of course, that is standard. And you can castle yourself in here because, of course, they open up the usual rotate down crouch height on Jim. Kama's using to rotate right now. There's the shield that's from Goyo on the bed. So it's all pretty stock standard here for this defense because, well, it works fairly well. It's just a question how they can execute on it. Unfortunately, a little sloppily, of course, because you see Shockwave already taking almost half his health and damage. That's not what you want to see. Probably an impact nade, just mistimed. Fortunately, no Doc in play to heal him up.
Objective is to defuse a bomb.
Empire just running the same lineup. They're not feeling like they need to change it, but they might want to consider bringing that Nomad they like to bring at some point, potentially. Although, in order to do so, Joystick would have to sacrifice the Thatcher, so it's a big ask. They're not likely to bring any kind of roam control ops. We talked about that earlier as well, just difficulty in not having roam. There you go, check that default cam. That's smart. Thank you, Dan.
I think Empire
He was watching
last
earlier.
game.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not making that mistake.
I think someone, is it Rusty from Secret, sent me a message and he's like,
Yeah.
I feel you.
He was letting me know as well too that coaches are often not talking during the matches because you don't want to mess with their communication and being in the zone. It's generally between matches only, even online.
That is actually a very good point.
But they can listen in, and that's still helpful.
Attackers
So either will lose his drone, fortunately. Dan running the angle grip hollow combination on his 7.62.
Gonna be a bit more aggressive probably than we saw earlier from Rips. That's what I was thinking. I kept thinking of Rise instead because he was in the same match. Shockwave in a good position if he could throw the C4 correctly, but too slow on the trigger.
Does a bit of damage to Dan in the meantime.
Yeah, not enough to really stop him from doing what he wants to do, very likely. Although, again, he has been an opening pick sometimes.
Did.
Still got all of his utility that he's about to use except for one breach charge, but that's inconsequential.
There's a shield that's being broken up, and that's one of the Goyo shields off.
Yeah, you can see the fire there.
Yep, it's Pasha that lost it, and there's the alibi. There's a reason why you bring the operator. But still, Thatcher is such a important op to just bring in general that you can deal with all of this utility pretty easily whilst not even putting yourself in the line of danger.
It gives Joystick something to do before he goes in guns blazing, right?
That's true. Other than droning.
Dan's definitely hoping for someone to peek him at this point. He really wants it. Like, at this point, you got 3 people standing outside just spinning around in circles looking in windows. This is not a great attack right now just because of that. Like, they've burnt so much time. They've accomplished nothing. All the damage on Shockwave is from his teammates.
A bit more damage done here to Joystick. Empire just watching. They need that early pick.
Yeah,
I say early, but it's 30 seconds left. There's Joystick finally on the WTG.
Finally.
And it's watching and he hits the head. There's Shockwave down, the ex-teammate. Castle's around the corner. Kama still alive. And Rast now at half HP.
Wow.
Oh my god, there's 3 kills in a row for forZe, leaving only 2 alive, but Rask with the 3K right now. Joystick turning around the corner. There's the Goyo shield pop, but it doesn't matter. A bit too late. Rask with 1 more onto Joystick. The last 2 perfectly positioned to fight against.
Rask and Kama. The castle with a 3K.
Don't underestimate that UMP, man.
They just got too desperate to move in at the end there. They were doing so well. Just laying down players of forZe. They managed to pick up 2, and then all of a sudden, just a sweep back from Rask and Kama. Just well played, and that's 2 successful defenses. As we talked earlier, this can be defensive-sided maps. This is not necessarily an indication of a problem with Empire, but at the same time, Empire's attacks generally are very good. So this is, I suppose, a little bit of trouble, and this is where they gain a lot of their advantage early on.
Defenders, protect your bombs.
They will be going back down to church now, but forZe have won their 2 secondary and third sites with Cash and Jim. So if they can close out church here, then that shows they can win all 3 sites, and they will go back to Cash. So we will see the Goyo again for downstairs. Nothing too crazy here, the usual setup so far. ADS, interestingly, in the middle of the room. Maybe a little bit exposed, but likely to be useful in a variety of situations because of its position. You, of course, very likely need to dedicate 2 reinforcements to here. You don't want to give any soft breacher like a sledge the option to just creep into dirt, and then it's a flank you were just not expecting at some point. So it is unfortunate to have to commit 2 reinforcements, but it's worth it in the end.
Locate and defuse a bomb.
So
Let's do my dear.
hopefully Empire can speed up their attacks here. This has really been a struggle for them.
Which is so odd to say, but again, this is Clubhouse, right? Defense has the advantage.
Yes,
It always does. And forZe is no slouch of a team. Right? We don't. The reason why, I guess, you talked about the whole, like, I expect this to be maybe a runaway for one team or a very close game, because that's what usually happens when 2 teams are close.
Yeah.
Maybe one just figures out the other, and then it's a complete shutout, like we saw BDS Vitality.
Yeah.
Or, in this case, it's definitely a close game. Both teams are outwitting one another here and there, out-aiming one another here and there. But in general, it still is a battle of positions.
Yeah.
That's what makes both of these teams so strong against any opponent, to never underestimate them.
And I think that's a big thing for forZe is they're also not giving a lot of free picks to Empire, and that's really helping burn a lot of time. They're positioning themselves well in sights, so that Empire are looking for a free shot, and they're not getting it. And then again, Tan just going down to a C4. He's just not getting a chance to be terribly effective a lot of the time. He did see him manage to pick up a kill last round, but it's just been a struggle for him on Zofia, it seems like, lately. Scyther, though, trying to creep his way down. Nothing to find, unfortunately. He did have to be cautious of a goo mine as well, because there is the Legion in play.
Of course, goo mines usually are plenty on that area. Basically, just the island entrance into
Oh, he's
basement.
sealed 3 of them in Arsenal right now, it looks like.
With the hatch and kitchen, I believe it's open right now, so because of the way that Empire run things, no, they are trying to open it, so that explains it. You try to put in a lot of pressure, and if you can find one player, if you can find the Habana, that'd be huge.
Yeah. You know they at least use 1 C4 already since they used it to kill Dan.
Impact grenade a bit off here as hatch gonna get opened up by Karjeka. And Rask on the flank comes up from blue. This is so weird. There's no attacker sitting in blue, and there's Shepard shot down. Scyther will get one more onto Rask, so
Located by attacker.
at least that's the flanking Jaeger that's out of play, but Karjeka has great
Attackers
drones
recovered the
that are giving
diffuser.
him information downstairs, and he's looking for more kills, but at the right moment, forZe is going to be able to fall back. That's Pasha surviving. He peeks around the corner, gets a bit more damage done through his arm, as Joe6's teammate walking in from behind him will step into a Guma, and as you mentioned it, there's 18 seconds left. You need to push right here, right now. Joystick turns around the corner into Church, but he gets down. That's Diffuser on the floor. Shockwave for the 3K. Karjeka dropping 1, but he's Gumai. Can't even move or sprint. Karjeka will find the kill. Finishing Kama, but it's a 2v2 right now. Karjeka with the confirmation, but Shockwave and WTG. Shockwave is back up on his feet. WTG's in support. A bit too late there from Empire. And you mentioned it, Devin. Timing.
Just lack of time. forZe is doing a great job burning it. Empire, I mean, they're rightly being cautious in a way because you're seeing forZe bring these flanks up. The problem is, it's just partially due to Dan dying early sometimes, but they're also just running a little bit slow on that caution. They're really not seeming to play with a lot of the confidence we usually see from the team till towards the end of the round where they try and play a bit more aggressive and end up in a lot of trades. But it just seems like, and we're not seeing mute Mozzie a lot of the time or something where they shouldn't be able to drone.
Attackers need to locate
They're really
and
just
defuse
struggling
bombs.
to get some kind of positional advantage over forZe and hit their shots. Maybe they're still warming up their aim, but now forZe running away with it in a 3-1 here. They go back to cash, as I said. They would. With the usual setup. They're going to have to play just a lot better this time. Empire really need to go, okay, we've seen all their bomb sites. We've seen how they play them. We managed to trade on Church. One time we won, one time they won. Now's the time to adapt to what forZe has been doing. They need to make those micro adjustments that buy them the extra time or buy them the extra kills. That's the thing is you have 2 resources, like man advantage and time advantage. If you kill a couple people, that buys you some time advantage. If you do things swiftly, that buys you some time advantage that you can use to try and pick off some men. Like, it's a constant back and forth combined with utility trading as well. So right now, so far, they haven't had a lot of either.
No.
It's mostly been just no time advantage and often no man advantage due to the early picks coming out from fours. So they're going to have to find one of those two advantages, or it's just going to continue to be four-sided here. And this is very surprising to see it go like this. But hey, Empire have shown a lot about what they do. They're well known for being repetitive in what they do and executing very cleanly and well on how they do it. But one thing I've always pointed out about Empire that I honestly believe in is if you can kill one of their players early, say with a C4, which is my favorite example, like we saw, they tend to lose little bits, and their unity is their strength as a team. Their ability to play off each other, to drone for each other, to cover for each other, to crossfire, to trade, they start to lose some of that if you pick them. We used to see them either win a round flawlessly or lose a round.
That's true. Even on land, it's even more predictable.
And so I think these early picks the fours are getting, that's the key. And it's working. So if they can keep that up, it's a struggle for Empire.
Oh no! The Valkyrie turns around and Pasha finally gets the finisher.
Dan, get some coffee, bro.
Spotted. Slow on there. Shepard should have been the one supporting him in the back, or at least someone else. You don't just let the Zofia go in on her own with no support, not even a drone.
Well, here it's happening again.
Scyther, the one so far away, and now chasing Pasha as he walked up by the oil pit into garage. There's Shepard to finally find Shockwave. That's the bandit eliminated.
Lost half his health to do it, though. That's not great.
Will it be enough?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, like, Empire's attacks are fairly predictable on where they go, and forZe is using that to find tons of holes to roam. Did get punished, though, on Rask, though, finally. But Pasha's like, that's fine. I'll trade you out.
Still has a Nitro Cell in hand, so can play this from downstairs since Empire don't really have too much manpower or time to throw at fours, specifically Pasha playing inside of Lounge. This drone coming out, his joystick will inhale a bit of those toxic babe smoke. And as usual, there you go, name me a better duo, X-Kairos and not opening up holes in walls correctly. You can try to walk in through this one. There's the MP, and it will be able to destroy the evil eye. Karjeka actually walks through it, so just a bit visual there. Shepard will get one kill as more flashes are being rained inside of that B site. Pasha around the corner with no Nitro Cell to play. Maestro trying to delay things as much as possible, but Joystick lands the most important kill, and another one from Joystick onto Kama. A long angle, was it? In construction? No, yeah, he was playing still inside of Cash and then walked out into construction. A great position for Joystick, and Empire finally try to stabilize, and not a second too late. They'll at least be able to gather 2 rounds on their attacking side, which is the minimum. Yeah, I mean, the best they could do now is 3-3 split, which is not great. That being said, that was a round that looked pretty convincingly going towards fours, but it was the Hibana's ability to get in with the support from the teammates, just getting in there to help set up for the plant, and then the picks coming out from Joystick that really made the difference towards the end there. But it was also the fact that they were at least able to trade some of the kills coming out from the roamers like Pasha and Rask. The roam play, though, again, they're finding holes in what Empire do because they take map control, but they're leaving openings in terms of stairs or rotates, and that's what you can't do because this map is not that uncontrollable. There are plenty of choke points. They're just not choking them. They're actually losing bits of map control pretty often. Choke them harder.
Yeah, they really need to just choke it down. This is going to be their last attack, though, so this is where they just need to get one more to even things up, and then they go to the defense side.
An even attack defense is in a good position for you as an attacker, so Empire definitely looking for it regardless. fours, if they're able to gather 4 rounds on the defense, is what you're looking for. It'll give you a lot of flexibility for the attacking side.
Yeah.
You can lose a couple rounds, but you still be doing well.
Well, Empire need to heavy pressure. Honestly, one thing they're not taking advantage of is bringing the Capitao. In situations where they can't get an angle advantage on the players, they could be using the Capitao. Yes, you've got to deal with ADSs, with grenades and things like that, but with Capitao, you don't. They could be smoking and sending in firebolts. I really think they could benefit, especially on this site, from the ability to, say, launch a crossbow firebolt into the bathroom. Now all of a sudden, bathroom is either clear or trapped. Things like that where they can either move in with the advantages they cut off or be able to move people out of positions to actually land shots instead of spending 45 seconds staring through windows, spinning in circles.
So one thing I want to highlight for a second is that right now, G2, Rogue, Chaos, and Vitality are all tied for 6 points apiece.
Wow.
Empire have 7. A victory today for Empire means that they go up to 10 points, and it gives them a lot of flexibility.
It means they can't be caught up to it in a single play day again.
Exactly, which means the only way to get to them is to win one game and tie another, and by that time, they would have had 2 games of their own to possibly bypass you, putting an even wider gap between them and their opponents, and having a decent gap between you and the second team by playday number 7 is definitely a great spot to be in. So all pressure on Empire, of course, as the ex-champions.
Oh, that was a Goyo shield too. Perfect utilization of destroying a shield.
So there's a double reinforcement into Garage. That's a Valkyrie, if I'm not mistaken. A Shockwave. So there can pressure there, but because of the reinforcement, you can't really do much against
he's using the black eye to be able to identify his approach as well. Shockwave's actually, it's just down to him winning this fight.
He's got to be careful because Empire have to have someone watching from the opposite end of like the other server window, because Scyther has to be the one to do this.
Oh no, he looks the wrong way! Shockwave freebie. Well, now they've got to worry about Shockwave even longer.
This is so odd to see Empire being so...
Oh, destroyed by a Goyo shield. They work both ways.
Do they now?
They certainly do.
The Goyo gets burned by a Goyo shield. Shockwave, though, will find another one onto Dan as he runs back inside of the garage. A quick peek is all that it took. Shepard is watching for the hand. There's another one. What is going on? There's 2 kills.
This time onto the attackers, though.
Actually, how it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
We're able to burn one player entering, I assume, into Gym there. Inside there will finally enter servers. Check through cash pre-fire, but it's Kama with a UMP that ends up winning it. And the last dropped.
What is with Kama playing Castle in this site? Just
how is the Castle outplaying everyone?
Honestly, it was Shockwave, though, really opening things up because he started to take out flanks. Really just caused problems. The Goyo shields as well caused a little bit of chaos in there, killing 1 defender and 1 attacker from those. But overall, forZe looking pretty hot themselves. 4-2.
Look, man, if forZe win this, I want everybody to do the same thing that a lot of people... Well, I don't want you to do that, but I expect people to do the same thing that everybody did to G2 once they lost a few games, is... Oh my God, washed up team, gonna lose. Relegated.
Even though there's no relegation, they're still gonna get relegated.
They're still gonna get relegated.
They're gonna disband
and get relegated. They're not even gonna play in CL after. They're only gonna play in Russian nationals and then pull out of it halfway through the season, like some other teams did in their own national tournament.
Well, they got lucky.
And on top of that, they're going to get first rounded without even getting a single map, just like Lustream had last Invitational. And not Rogue, because Rogue actually got 1 map. I remember that event. It was a bit weird for both of those teams.
Yeah.
But here we are. Empire, 2 rounds down, but they start on the defense. And what is this? Karjika is playing the Jaeger instead of joystick?
All right.
What is this blasphemy?
I don't know. I mean, I think it would make more sense for Karjika to be on the Mozzie instead of the other. But hey, you know what?
That what usually happens.
Yeah. Just trying some change-ups here.
No smoke for this round.
I mean, to be fair, they are in the lead on the scoreboard right now in EU.
Oh, yeah.
So even if they lose, they still stay on top for now.
But still,
So they can afford a little bit of experimentation.
I mean, would they?
forZe
forZe right now have 3
Probably
points.
not.
If they're at 6 points, then yeah, they can't. Empire, regardless of this, will remain on top. But forZe lost. What happened to them? They lost to G2. They lost to Chaos, and they beat Na'Vi. So they would sit at 5th place, tied with Vitality, I guess. No, because then after that it's the round differential. So I guess they'd be at 5th place, which moves them a couple steps up, but.
It's dangerous now. It's looking like Verdi could have been right about this.
That's when you know that it's all going kaput.
Yeah, something's wrong. Love you, Verdi. Just kidding.
I don't know if he can. I know he's casting off of our clean feed, but I don't think he can hear.
No,
us.
I don't think he can. And I doubt he'll go back and rewatch these.
So Barrios.
Someone else can tell him for us.
Yeah. Regardless, we live in niche, so it's okay. We love you.
Rask coming in on the sledge. I saw last time when they played Clubhouse on the very first play day, Rask was doing some work with that sledge, and he was just going crazy, opening up like all of the floor for Church. It's not a Church attack yet, so we won't see that, but he's still opening up a ton of rotates for his team here to make sure that they can move around the way they need to. Those also become potential flank routes. Now, destroying that Goyo shield actually delays them a little bit in pushing further, but they need to get that out of the way. Certainly not going to vault over it.
Using the hammer.
They got some intel from that. Now they're just to open up a construction wall. We saw a lot of this earlier. Rask with a grenade as well, making full use of his utility. Dan again, the first to fall. Opening deaths is his name today.
So are there any more grenades to sail on in? Yes, there's one more for Rask that he can use. If he permits. Shockwave's going to throw in the EMP, but unfortunately it got burned off by an ADS just so it gets thrown in. There's the shot from Shockwave on Shepard. It's the kill that you were looking for, and the Goyo shield will be shot down. No more Volcans for you on that server site. Shockwave looking down as he deletes more of the utility. There's the Maestro telegraphed a mile away thanks to the Alda being so large, and another ADS caught. There's Joystick to find one kill on WTG though, slowing down forZe in their assault, but there's 26 seconds left, and Rask will find another one. There's only one left, and guess who it is? Karjeka. He finds another kill on Akama, and he still has 2 more to go. But does he have any information?
Diffuser just now picked up.
15 seconds left.
He's rotating up from the stairs, and Pasha's watching for him. He's going to plant behind the reinforcement. That's the traditional position to have. Shockwave will peek up, and he'll find Karjeka. Tons of damage done from Shockwave in the round. And there's the end of it. forZe will be on 5-2 here. Successful attack on server.
That is unexpected, but like I said, probably either going to be close or one-sided. This is just not the side I was expecting. Seems like forZe kind of have Empire's number, and unfortunately it starts with number Dan. Seems to get just not having a great day. Shockwave, however, making up for some of his lower stats before with having a great day himself. We'll see if Joystick on this Vigil could do some work. We've seen him play it before on this particular site. He'll play he tends to play very heavy in Garage on this play to rotate back into Lounge, sometimes down into Oil Pit. Plays very flexible mid-floor roam. So either going to sneak on from one cam op to another. It's interesting to see the
Defenders, protect your bombs
Kaid for this one instead of the Bandit, but they have both. So things are going to get held. I imagine then probably the Bandit for the server wall and the Kaid for the hot tub wall. Or actually for the wall he's reinforcing right now into connector. I'll always remember watching Rampy just going crazy inside there with the impacts, when he had impacts, and the Kaid before it could do 3 panels, just holding off cash entirely by himself.
So glad he doesn't have that anymore.
Rampy's not, I'm sure, but that was like a master class in a one-man like stall army.
By the way, for everybody watching, we'd like to remind you that our seeding show plus the reveal of the invited team is after this matchup. So this is how it goes. We finish the match, we have our interview if we have one, and then we take 5-minute break, we come back. By that time, we'll be ready to give you
this will be your first time potentially interviewing forZe, as when they went before it was
Xintero.
Yeah. We'll see though. Still at least 2 more rounds to go minimum. Well, counting this round, that is.
And it's heavy. It's heavy for Empire right now, but forZe are really able to outplay them at their own game, oddly enough. Empire on defense are well known for being this aggressive team, very reactive to you. And right now, at least on the first half, forZe did the same to them. All 3 EMPs used for the rush as forZe walk in. 2 players will be lost, 3 of them. Empire outplayed. We've all been bamboozled, and WTG will take a bit of damage, but it's pretty much done. Joystick's low in HP. Siler is at full, but he's the Valkyrie and doesn't have much to use in this case. Look at the amount of damage done to him as he vaults back into the bedroom. And forZe, barely a flesh wound. Nitro's out. There's Pasha on the Scyther, and last but not least is Joystick. forZe flawless on the assault, and the perfect timing for it, as now they're on map and match point.
Well, they've denied any chance of Empire getting that insurmountable lead. What a round, just storming in like nothing. I've never seen someone push so aggressively into servers like that. They really they had everyone's position down. They droned it well. All they had to worry about was the offsite players. There was no Mozzie to capture the drones and stall them or mute. That was impressive. Just storming in, getting set up for the plant, and then so many people left alive to cover it that it was guaranteed to go down and force the members of Empire to rotate back because they're going to be on limited time. And also spotting where the roamers were. You saw the jump back into the window, for example, from the Valkyrie. That was not great. Well, what could be Empire's very last round here? They're finally going to go to church. It's weird to see just 3 maybe defensive rounds for Empire. From a team that is usually so good on attack, only getting 2 on Clubhouse. That's... You start to wonder, is this the end of an Empire on Clubhouse, or is this just forZe really knowing how to handle them?
I think they just play so much against Empire. I'd assume that the 2 teams scrim quite consistently as well, because I mean the Moscow time is different than the rest of Europe.
I imagine they'll scrim against each other after this match as well, because obviously they don't face each other again for a while. So Shockwave up there at 12, definitely doing well for his team. He's trying to show his old teammates what's up. I think he has more to prove in this, you know, against Empire than the rest of his team.
That's true. And I mean, the rest of the team definitely have their, as we talked about, the Major League, the Russian Major League kind of 1-2 punch. I mean, forZe were able to defeat Empire once on LAN in the Russian Major League, but since that tournament uses a lower bracket, Empire were able to fight back and then snapped forZe in half grand final. That was not the season, but the one before.
This is where Rask starts just going insane on this floor. I'm waiting for him to get like a Home Depot or Lowe's sponsorship at this point, just demolishing everything.
Or whatever the Russian equivalent of it.
Yeah, whatever construction.
I don't know if the French Bricot has something there, but
yeah, I'm not entirely sure.
Shockwave's going to set himself up here. There's no Nitro Cell that can be thrown at him, at least anytime soon. Empire going for that double TCSG play with both Shepard and Cider on the Goyo and the Clyde respectfully.
Very, very respectful.
Why did I say respectfully? Why am I like this? I caught you.
I'll ask your parents.
Caster, I found you. You said the wrong word.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
All right, well, Rask not getting any, I was gonna say not getting any free picks out of it, but certainly close enough to one. A lot of damage on Cider. And then, there we go. Dan again. Why even spawn in?
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
Unfortunate there, as the Legion is dead at the minute point. Means he had like something like 3 or 4 Gumais. He pretty much put out like half of them, a bit more. 5 out of the 8 by the 1 minute mark. And yeah, that's unfortunate. If he had even deployed all of them, that's the big question.
Yeah,
there.
you often see in Pro League Gumines in the pocket of Legions to try and decide what to do with them later.
So there's a grenade thrown in the back. Karjeka will find Kama. Play with the Maestro, the Alda. Definitely doing some work, but it's going to take a bit more. As Rask is ready, and somehow he hits the headshot. He nails it. Scyther. Joystick is even down on the floor. This has forZe written all over it. A grenade is being cooked to be thrown into the bag of dirt. Now we'll tag Karjeka and drop him down on the floor, and there's forZe. They've done it. I can't believe it.
Well, either really close or a one-sided stomp. And now we know.
Right.
Just not even so much a stomp as just a death march on their bodies at this point. I gotta imagine though, Dan was just having a bad day and that really was not helping things for Empire, but it really looked like forZe had their number. It also just looked like they were landing their shots way more than we were seeing from Empire. Maybe just confidence or whatever, it could be a mental game. Rask, Shockwave there up at the double digits, 10 and 12 respectively. Just what play from forZe, man. That's I don't think we're gonna see many other teams take Empire on Clubhouse that effectively. But now you're really going to be scared of both Russian teams on Clubhouse in the future.
If you thought Empire were good on it.
So
forZe pulled out the rush at the perfect time as well.
Yeah. That was
the one round that they needed to really put themselves on a guaranteed 1 point.
Yeah, and just set up just nothing for Empire to do it. Like, well, we could play forZe down 1 point. It's just, we're behind. We'd have to get 4 rounds in a row.
That was incredible. And for a lot of people that might be watching right now and you're thinking, what will forZe do next time? Well, they're playing against BDS, so...
Well, at least it won't be on Clubhouse.
Yeah, that we know, and BDS today played on Clubhouse as well. So
that means we'll get a random.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a very good point. Since both teams played the same map, BDS and forZe, it means that the second map that gets auto-banned is a random one.
And that does mean they have to be extra thoughtful in their map banning strategy going into it. Of course, they'll know what the auto-bans are before they start banning, but they need to think, what are some options if one of the picks we want to do gets auto-banned. They have to have a whole secondary strategy. So it gets tricky.
That is for Monday, though, so the teams will have some time to prepare and set themselves straight for it. This is why having these like 2 days in between matches.
Yeah, the whole weekend to think about that.
Exactly. So maybe having that much time actually doesn't help a team like Vitality.
Yeah, it certainly made it sound like they got the Mondays, the Garfield strat.
But we have our interview ready, so let's have a quick chat with Pasha. Tovarishik Pasha, how are you doing? Congratulations on your
I'm doing
goal.
great. Thank you. Thank you.
You beat Empire, as Emzo and I were talking about, in the Russian Major League. You two are kind of the big dogs on top of everything. And how does it feel to finally be able to take them down in a Pro League environment, since this is a bit different and different play styles for both of you compared to the Major League?
Actually, it feels great. I don't know. I lost so many times to them. So today was, I don't know, we played really confident.
Mm-hmm.
We wasn't struggling at all. We was playing just our game. We took a few clutches. We played fast rounds. I don't know. We just had it. Nothing else. It feels great.
So in one of the earlier rounds, a very first one, I believe, it was a defense downstairs in church, and the setup was basically, let's have a vigil upstairs, let's have a legion. That backfired on you. It didn't work out. What was the plan? Because it seems like, hey, we're going to get pushed out. Let's just drop down to the bar and try to fight from there and maybe try to make it back to church. It was really odd to watch. It didn't seem that coordinated from you.
Basically, the strat makes for wasting of time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like we shoot the drones, they not going to take positions, and we just can go to site for free. And that was the plan. But we didn't waste time as much as we could.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, as I remember, I came back site on 2 minutes, and it's a lot to attackers to do stuff like to breach everything, and I don't know, we could have won that round, but we couldn't deny the plant, and that's the main reason, and also the time.
Majority of it, yeah, there's a lot of time, there's still a lot of soft walls because you had to sacrifice utility somewhere else. It makes a lot of sense. But I believe it was the second to last round, you were attacking onto server and cache, and you decided to go for the rush. What was the telltale sign that had you say, okay guys, let's rush in and fight them directly on site?
So basically, I was like, I should pre-place drone in the master bedroom to know if they're roaming or something. And I just seen the guy who was reinforcing the walls outside on master bedroom. And I just thought that they'll hold master bedroom, we can just do something about it. And Kama or Rask, I don't remember currently, they said that we can rush the site because there's many people in master bedroom, and we just did it. Nothing special.
Yep. So there you go. In the end, it ends up in a victory for you now. forZe, definitely the dark horse of Pro League for this season so far. But that said, anything you'd like to say to the fans that are just watching the game?
I'd say for all the fans who've been cheering for us, that we really appreciate your support. We really hope to see you rooting for us next games, and that's it.
Of course, your next matchup is on Monday, and you're playing against BDS, a team that still has a lot of fans behind it. So this should be yet another proving ground, as EU Pro League is always a proving ground for every team in it. Yeah. Congratulations on your victory. Your big rivals in Russia, Empire. We'll see you on Monday, Pasha. Good night.
Thank you. Bye.